So we have an exciting one today. We actually have the head judge himself from ATC talking today to you about the ATC Florida event. So stay tuned and locked in while we dissect ATC Florida. Stay tuned. Well, that was absolutely exciting. My wife started calling me on Facebook at the exact moment I started the introduction. So, my bad, my peoples. I love you for that very much. But once again, as always, we have the wonderful host, Mr. Regal, and Jake himself. And we have an amazing special guest today. If you've ever watched the show on Onslaught Gaming, you know you've seen JD, you know what he's about. But we're going to allow him to kind of introduce himself, break down what he does, and what makes his events so special. And ATC Florida is the best one.
I mean, it is up there. It is up there.
I stole that.
No, thank you all for having me. As you know, Lewis has said, y'all probably know me, but I'm the owner of Go Games. I'm the head judge for ATC. I'm one of the, I guess, members of the NTL Council that we do all the NTL FAQ and all that. And then I do guest appearances with Frontline Gaming or GW or Nova, WTC. I've been around the block a couple times for judging, so that's what I do.
So we all know you do a lot more than that.
I do.
You're more. Listen, when I first met you, so I'm gonna be a little bit more detailed, JD. All right. When I first met JD, you know, a wonderful individual, very charismatic, all about the community, continue to be about the community. Just wonderful to see your growth at where you at now, brother, and continue to grow everywhere else. But I always remembered, you always used to tell me, I'm more than a terrain guy. I'm more than a terrain guy. And listen, you are, and you've proven that through all the accolades you have, all the sponsorships, working with all of those individual or large conglomerates, right? Working with GW, working with NTL, owning your own away games, being a part of ATC, and everything else in a plethora. But what really resonates with me the most is the relationship that I had with you initially at Crucible. For those of you who don't know what Crucible is placed in Orlando, Florida. And JD, about 4 years ago, something like that? 4 years.
You were like my first big GT, so. Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you, because I don't think I've actually mentioned it to you, but thank you for allowing Crucible and us to grow to the level that we are now because of what you did for Crucible. And that was fantastic. So I wanted to say you were a big part of my growth as well, man. So it's great to see you and how you're doing, and happy for everything that's going on my end as well.
Thank you. I mean, again, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about the community, right? So if we can support and grow the community together, I'm all about that. As you said, and we've seen it so many other places, there's more of these kind of organizers that are doing what we are doing, and that's just good for the community, right? Especially when you have people like yourself and others that are running great events with great training and all that. Like, that's just what the community wants. We're all playing by the same rules, and then we're standardizing too. And I applaud you for I've heard that you're using the NTL FAQ, which is always a good thing. But as the quote unquote that GW always says, is we all want to win the game, and that happens with community leaders all working together to come together to standardize everything. So, and again, thank you for giving me. I think it was my first GT. Well, I guess my first non-away games event, if you will, because we were kind of doing our own before, and then we got to guest appear with you, help you out Crucible, and now it's 200 plus players every year. So.
No, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. You'll always be a part of me and Onslaught, man, forever for that.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you have ATC Florida coming up this weekend. Regal, Jake, I know you got a bunch of questions that'll help insight people as well. Also, people make sure to ask JD, ask away whatever questions, all pun intended, away. Ask him all the questions you have to ask. Make sure you try to get that within this segment. It's not going to be long, so try to ask JD exactly what you might be worried about or what you want to know about ATC Florida, and he'll fill you in, right? I know that deadline is on Wednesday and things like that, so take it away, Regal and Jake, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, no problem. I think we'll start from the top. I heard someone who was being exposed to what 40K was this past weekend had no context. That JD as well was actually another event, teams, the Cherokee Open, had 430 people, 415 by the end. Someone was asking about it, and they're like, so all 400 of you are playing the same game, which, kind of us is obvious. But, people maybe who know how teams works, maybe, we can start there. Like, what is a team event versus, your normal, like, GT?
Yeah, absolutely. So ATC Florida is a 5-player team event. There are all sorts of team events around. I think the 2 most popular are 5s and 8s. And they're 2 different beasts in themselves. 5 is very popular with, I would say, a plethora of people, as well as 8s. We always say like 8s is probably the more competitive because you have to have 8 players and 8 different armies and all that. And 5s is, let's just say, less of that because you only need 5 armies and 5 players to do that. But in itself, team events are you gather your players, if you will, in this case 5 players, and you play 5 games against another team of 5. There's a whole pairing process. With the NTL/ATC format, we give you 5 different GW layouts, and then from there are 2 missions from there. And then when you start pairing off, the first defender gets to pick the first layout, and then in turn their attacker then picks from those 2 missions what mission they want to play. We think this actually helps out with teams. Because one of the worst things we saw before was you get a layout and then a mission that didn't work on it. Because there's only 8 GW layouts, but there's 20, 18, 19 real missions, if you will, that we play. Some of them just don't line up with the layouts. So we decided to break out the layouts with actual missions that work on it. So in this format, there's 2 missions per layout, and then players can be playing different missions throughout the round 1, round 2, round 3, and round 4, as well as round 5. And then at the end of all that, once all the scores are tallied, if you've scored over 55 points with your 5 players, you win the round. Between 56, so it's between 45 and 55, it's a tie, and then anything below that is a loss for you. And then from that, you're basically scoring 20 points or up for grabs per game, and that's where you get your points for the round.
Word. I think so. I'm gonna let Regal go and take care of all like the operational questions, right?
Yeah.
I was really excited to get a chance to ask you some more personal questions because obviously, like, we have our own amazing Lewis, right? He's a GOAT, right? Love him to death. But I wanted to ask you some questions about judging. And said what? said that Lewis is awesome? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just teasing you. That's all.
Anyways, I thought I'd ask you a little bit more personal questions about judging large events like this, because obviously I have Lewis's opinions, right? I know what he goes through. Pretty okay, right? I know there's some stuff in the backgrounds I don't quite see, right? Some little inner workings past the nails, But anyways, so just a random thought that I had, right? So in terms of like a big event like this, what goes through your head whenever picking the missions, layouts, and all the deployments and stuff, and then also, is there any kind of a is the first, this is a better way to put it, is the first pairing for teams, right, completely random, or do you have certain teams that you try to like kind of pair up depending on like certain matchups and whatnots?
All right. So 2-parter. The first part's the easiest part. As Lewis always, probably says the same thing I do. we leave it up to the BCP guys. Most teams, the only time we'll actually repair or redo is if there's like two local teams that are like, let's just say Onslaught Gaming 1 and Onslaught Gaming 2. We'll try to avoid those pairings, or we always call it like the same club. That's in our player back at BCP as well. So the first round is completely random. And then, so as long as you're on the same club, it's completely random. And then from there, we do a match points, which is 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. We do match points, and then win path, and then random. So from there, that's how you'll start pairing and going off from there. But for the first round, it is completely random. We push BCP and hope it all works. And then for the first part of that question, when it comes to the layouts and all that, so we pull all of our layouts and missions from the NTL Winter Spring 2026 pairing. Luckily, we have 8 kind of different layouts / pairings. We do double up on layout 1 and layout 8 this year. But it's easier to kind of pull 5 of the different ones because we have 8 to choose from. And then from there, I will give you like a little tidbit behind the information. We always try to do like 1 open one and at least 1 closed one. So 1 melee, 1 shooting one. Layout 1 is probably the most balanced layout, and it's usually in there as well. So now you have 1 layout that's literally 50-50 across the board, 1 shooting, 1 melee, and then we kind of decide what we want to do for that event. Again, luckily for us, we have 3 or 4 ATC 5-player events this year, so we can test out one for for Florida. We have ATC Carolina coming up. We can test out those. We are partnering with Frontline Gaming to host our last one in June, and then we can gather all that information and decide what worked and what didn't. The only oddity this year is the fact that we have 11th edition coming. We all don't know when. So all these missions are kind of like leading us up to 11th. So after that, we'll have to reassess and all that. So usually we have a whole season, 6 to 9 months or 6 to 12 months of all these missions to test out and find out what works. But in this case, we're just kind of waiting until 11th and go from there. So.
Gotcha.
So that's the sweet science behind it, and I love it. I love when Jay breaks it down too. That's actually, if you've ever been to my team events, I defer to JD when it comes to like the mission packets and layouts and things like that. You'll always see me kind of emulating exactly what he's doing because they break it down very, very well. They know exactly what matches work best. So.
Yeah, and I mean, again, behind the scenes for the winter, spring, if you will, 2026 mission, we reached out to about 5 or 6, maybe 7 teams. We reached out to a couple TOs and all that, and kind of got their opinions on what was working, what didn't, and even like what missions paired well together. Because like my favorite right now of all the pairings is layout 8 with Purge and Terraform on it. Because there's that moment where you're like, oh, I'm playing against, let's say Eldar. I want to go, Purge, or hey, I'm also playing something and I want to go Terraform. These 2 games are very different in the sense of one's all killing and one's just kind of holding objectives. But I do like that pairing when it comes to that. So.
Very occasionally, you get thrown on layout 8, hidden supplies against Gradient's Warpbane. Very occasionally. Rarely.
I will say like hidden supplies or Scorch were the 2 that like. We were debating on like only having one of those in there, but we didn't decide to have both. So I think there's probably the 2 most polarizing missions, if you will.
JD, they don't like me trolling them when I use Purge the Foe on layout 8 for the last mission, for the last round.
I grew up.
It's me. I'm they. It's exactly me.
I grew up in 8th edition. That's when I first started. So like that is old school 8th edition to me. So it's hard for me to go. I'll never have Purge in my mission packs because again, if you grow up with it, that's what you want to do. So
gotta love it. Anything else, Regal? You kind of want to break down, Jake?
Yeah. So, I was going to add on to that because of the way the mission packs work for Chapter Approved 2026. It's not just the mission you're picking; it also changes what potential deployment you're going to be at on that table, which is another baked-in layer to these decisions, which is cool and that makes for, as a captain, like list building and putting a team together, very dynamic thinking of it's not just Purge. like, oh, was it Purge Crucible or was it Purge, the table quarters?
Search and destroy. Yeah, and I mean, so that's another thing we looked at. I think so it's weird because, like, to go back, and Lewis was kind of part of this when we all kicked off, is like Intel has only been around for like 2 years, but it's been like different iterations. And there was one iteration where we did same deployments, but like different missions, and we were like, oh, do people like this? Do people don't like this? And weirdly, adding the layer of deployment is another, as you said, layer to the puzzle, if you will. I think if every mission was like, these 2 search and destroys, 2 crucibles, it might not matter so much what the mission is. It matters some, but not as much, because it might be like, oh, I just can't deploy on search and destroy, or I don't want to do this. So adding a different layer of like, oh, I'd rather, is it more important to pick the layout, or is it more to pick the 2 missions that I might be playing, or the 2 deployments of them, which again is a good thing that we like.
Yep. Question I always have, when we do these like pre-event shows, I did for Crucible. I think I even did for ATC last year as well. When I go to events, I like to hit up the judge or head TO, whoever, be like, hey, what do I need to prepare for, have my team ready for? Like, what can I do to, one, not get my team yellow carded or, penalized in any way, but also like just things to be aware of that isn't like, Army dice rules. Like, what can people do to be as prepared as possible?
Well, Lewis will hopefully agree with this. The biggest one for teams is like time, right? Because you're allowed 30 minutes preparing, and then you have 3 hours to basically play your round. I don't think I've ever seen anybody ever take 30 minutes preparing. So you usually have a little bit more extra time. But for teams, all the penalties, like such as time and all that, are cumulative for the team. And so if in a single event, if you run out of time, you're only hurting yourself. In team events, you run out of time, you're hurting your entire team. And like the one thing we always harp on for teams, and especially time, I always talk about like in the first round is, if there's a warning, an official warning, and a yellow card, like 50 points off. Those all 4 can happen in the first round if 4 of your 5 players time out on time. So the big thing on that is taking care of time, all that stuff. The other thing that we always harp on too is ensuring that you're getting all your scores in correctly. Since last year's ATC, we've made a big note in our player packets, which we haven't had any issues with this at all in the events we've done so far. But once a score is locked in, it's locked in unless it's a flip score. The reason we have this is we want to ensure that people are talking about their score and ensuring it's correct before they put it in. But also at the same time, we want to prevent point shaving in the sense of like, oh, I can see what the score kind of is, and maybe I don't want to score as high or vice versa. Or at the same time, going back and talk to your team, and then 20 minutes later be like, oh, I should have got 5 more points for this terraform, right? What we want to do is ensure that the game's complete and are fair and all that. But once you put a score in, we don't want to go and say, hey, you owe me 2 more points here, 2 more points there. So we ensure that the first score is in. One of the things we say is either the captain can put all the scores in, or the captain can go to the players, but then they have to trust the players that they're actually putting in the correct score. So.
Very, thank you. Very. Someone did have a question in the comments. I think it's a good question to ask. They said if they were to bring Sisters of Battle from the Inquisition Codex, Imperial Agents, could the SOB as a main faction still be brought?
Yes, as long as they're pulling it from the agents, which I think that's the only place you can pull them from, because they get a certain keyword when they do that, like Agents of the Imperium. The big questions we always get, right, are, hey, if I pull this, can I do this? The simplest breakdown is like all the Chaos factions have their own kind of demons in there. And so if you pull those demons from the internal book, you're not taking from Chaos demons. So you could technically go, hey, I want to take Plague Marines in my Death Guard army. You can still take Plague Marines, or not Plague Marines, like Poxwalkers in my Death Guard army. It doesn't prevent the Chaos from being locked up.
But not a double Caros or something like that, right? No big bird.
Yeah, because it says you can't have 2 of the same name characters. We had a question from one of your local guys about Shadow Legion and taking Chaos Space Marines. the big thing on there is if you read it, it says that they add heretic authorities to the keywords, but it doesn't replace it. So if you took those, then technically you would close off the Chaos Space Marine book. Most of the ones that you get to keep are they replace their keywords or faction keywords. So then in turn you can keep replacing them and doing all that. So it's usually for Eldari with like Harlequins and like Yunari, because technically Eldar list, I don't know why you would do it right now, but you can take Yunari in that book and then also sell Yunari and Yunari, but you can only take Harlequins in one or the other.
Yeah, true.
Or you could just take Harlequins as their own thing and stop trying to split attention.
Yes, you could.
Exactly.
But it closes off the Eldar book either way. So.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you'll still have a horrible weekend because Harlequins are not doing fantastic right now.
I mean, funny enough is like the one thing, and we might get that question later, is the one thing I truly love about teams is the fact that you can bring armies that aren't great in singles, but are great in teams.
Correct.
Right? Harlequins might be one of those things where like on layout 8, it's really good as long as I'm not playing against something that like has no line of sight. And there's so many cool matchups and so many army lists that you can build with like, hey, I know this army is good, but it's not great if it goes against 1, 2, or 3 of these armies. But you can avoid these armies and then, luckily play better that way.
So we had another question. Shout out to Recon by Fire, by the way. Great supporter of the channel. And we're also supporters of his channel. So shout out to him for great content, battle reports. What is considered okay table talk for teammates and captains, and what is too much?
Ooh, man. So too much. There's actually in the player packet, there's a list of like the can and cannots. Probably too much a list to go over tonight.
Quick time out, real quick. So the table talk we're talking about here, right? So I'm very new to the team setting, right? I've yet to play in the teams event. Actually, Regal's done a great job in explaining kind of like what it is and how it all works, right? So I've got it down, right? Now the table talk, right? Are we talking about like team captains coming over mid-match, right? And kind of like having a discussion, or are we talking like a post or pre-game kind of discussion stuff?
During the game, during the game talk.
Yeah,
got it. I just needed that for my own mental, like while you explained it, so I can image it. Sweet.
Yeah, because like
continue.
one of the cool factors of the team is you can check on your teams and like, hey, maybe I'm playing defensive, but all of a sudden your team's losing, and you're like, well, we projected, if you will, 10 points, but we need you to get you 15, right, to do better. So now you want to push, or it's vice versa, right? Somebody's going, projected like a 10-10, but now they're getting a 20-0, and you don't have to be as aggressive because, either way you're going to win this round. So that's kind of, I think, the table talk they're talking about. Again, there's a whole list of like the can and cannots. The big thing I will harp on is whatever you're talking to your teammates about, you have to have a player or their captain hearing it. So you can't pull them off to the side and be like, hey, this is what's going on, blah, blah, I need you to do this. Every communication has to be heard by somebody from the opposite team, whether it be that player you're playing against or their other team captain. The other thing is like, you can ask scores on all that, like, hey, what are you projecting, blah, blah. But again, you have to be able, the other player has to hear it, right? You can't whisper, hey, I'm thinking a 10 or 12. There are like a big thing that you'll see in WTC in a couple of the teams are clipboards. And in those clipboards, you can have numbers, whatever you want. You can show the clipboard to the opposite team. Hey, he's going to put one of these numbers. Turn the clipboard back around. He points to it. That is considered okay because you haven't communicated verbally or anything. You just said, hey, this is what I'm expecting. And so most teams have that stuff. But when it comes to like what the do's and don'ts are, there's a whole list in the player pack of like what you can and can't do. But I would always say like the two main things are if you're going to have communication, somebody has to be able to hear it, so you can't pull them off to the side. At the same time, if you're going to talk about scores and all that, you need to be able to project that to both the player or the captains, unless you're like using a clipboard.
And for those of you too, living in the world, the year of 2026, you do not allow AI assisted any type of programming or anything like that as well. So for those of you who are aware, who are tech savvy, right? AI assistance is not a thing. I know for those of you, I don't know if JD is aware yet, if you've seen the information, but those of you who are usually in my area and just recently, I just showed the whole world in the community something that I gave out. So make sure to not use that at that event. That's not something for that event. It's if JD, that's not something that's produced for JD to approve as of yet, because it still has a lot of kinks that needs to be fixed. So
I actually saw that today, Lewis.
Anything else like it?
But yeah, Lewis is. Go ahead.
As far as like the table talk and communication goes, right? I like how you put that, right? And honestly, like I feel like that level of communication is just the general standard for 40K as a whole, right? We're not playing a game of secrets, right? We're not trying to get like a leg up on each other, right? The whole point of like your games and your rules for your army, right? And your overall projection of your game is to be clear and concise with your opponent. Your opponent should, like, in my eyes, right, the ideal matchup with an opponent, right, is to have fun, right? Have a clear like visual and idea of what they can and cannot do, right? And then have some fun with it. Roll some dice, see what happens, right? But there should never be any kind of like I didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? Or like you ask, hey, is there any way you can get over there, right? And they're like, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then proceed to like do it easily. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like clear and concise communication and very open book. I like it.
Yep.
Open clipboard, if you will.
It's gonna be an amazing event this weekend. There are tons of people from Florida coming out, tons of people from Georgia. You probably have people all the way from like Midwest,
Tennessee, Midwest. And then along the East Coast. So, and then I will give a quick announcement on that. Is we're at 23 teams, which means we're at an odd number. So if you know of a team that wants to come that hasn't come in yet, please tell them to sign up. And if there are 5 players out there that want to create a Merc team to help us out and be the ringer, if you will, by all means, let me know. The only caveat on that is like the Merc team or ringer team is not playing; they won't get any prize support or anything like that. But if you do have a team of 5 players that want to come out and support the community and go from there, so.
And you get 5 rounds of Warhammer 40K.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great for. Yeah, exactly what Lewis said. It's great for practice. Like if you're hesitant on team events, but you don't want to sink that investment, this is a perfect way to do it. And then also, like I know some teams bring 1 or 2 extra players. Like again, create that Merc team, and then help out the community and help out the event.
Love it, Jake. What you got for us, baby? I know you haven't been to a team event, so we're still trying to make sure you understand exactly what it is. So when you get into your first adventure, whichever it might be, you're going to enjoy yourself.
Oh, dude. Like I mentioned earlier, Regal did a excellent job. Tell me about it. I'm really quick on like absorbing it. And once I figure out like how and why it works, right, I've got it down. Regal did a great job. I think I've got it all for the most part.
There's so much more. I'm so sorry.
I'm sure. But that would be stuff that you neglected to tell me about, so that would be your fault. But I guess
well, there are 2 questions in the chat. So
there are questions in the chat. How about you do that and I'll think of anything.
Yeah. So the breakpoints.
Yep. Yeah. Are there any breakpoints where a player should start to make high risk, high reward plays to get their team more points?
I would say that's all based on a team, right? At the end of the day, the team's got to decide that. Usually, a team goes, "Hey, we're going to this matchup." Once all the pairings and all the deployments and layouts are set, they'll come kind of together and go, "Hey, what's your projection here?" Right? And let's just say we all say 10. That's 50 points. Cool. And then from there, just say Jake's project at 10, and then Jake starts getting a 0 or is projecting that way. Now the team has to go, okay, we got to clean up 10 points somewhere, right? And so I would say that's where that break point is where you've kind of projected yourself. If it starts falling one way or another, is when you either push or more defensive. Like, again, the opposite, right? So Jake's, projected 10, and he's got 20-0 in 2 rounds, right? And the game's over. Yep. You're like, cool. We don't have to push as hard as we were going to do, or we might not do everything else. But that's all kind of team communication and what's going on that.
And
just a quick comment from I'm already a robot. I don't need to. The AI tell me how bad I am already. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So, going into the next question, it said, do you prefer 20-0 or more 12-8 matchups? As both a captain and a player, I'll tell you the best thing you can do, kind of piggybacking off what JD said, is no, if not your whole matchup matrix, because that's entirely too complicated. Not everyone has time for that. Just know what you can do. Know, like, hey, purge the foe and linchpin. Maybe I score in the 40s to 60s. Taking a hold and hidden supplies, more of an 80, 95s game. Just let your captain know, like, your realistic thing. Don't go, oh, I heard orcs are bad, so 20-0 them. Yeah. Go over 2 hours into the match and be like, hey, so it's like an 18-2 in their favor. I kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I really like about teams events that you were telling me about, right? Is these pairings, right, and these conversations you have, right, with keep in mind those realistic expectations, right? That's your time, like, as a player, to be like, I know that I, as a player, perform really well into this army on this layout like that. If you put me in, like you telling your coach, if you put me into that particular matchup, I can probably on average do this and perform pretty well, right? And that's you getting to, like, make those goals and set those standards for yourself and then prove yourself and try to live up to them. And if not, you have a good time, right? Like, you pick your battles, you learn, you shape, and you evolve. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And
I was going to say another big thing on that is, like, those 20-0 matchups and those 12-8 matchups. So the best thing about teams is, like, every point matters, right? For singles, right? If I'm scoring 85 and my opponent's scoring 75, point differential doesn't really matter. But if, like, you try and get the most points, that's great. But in team events, you can be like, hey, I'm just trying to get 4 points here, right? Because I know my other guys are going to get all the points they need. And maybe it's a bad matchup, but you're the one jumping on the grenade, right? Like, hey, I'll take, this army off the table. I'll take Tau off the table and scrounge 4 points. And those 4 points could be the difference between, win, loss, or a tie. So again, that's what I enjoy it. But to, like, directly answer the question, probably the 12-8s are more fun to watch and be a part of. But again, like a 20-0, especially in a 5 event, if one player gets 20-0, all they need is 25 more points to even just tie for the round. So if you look at 4 players and go, hey, y'all get 25 points, that's all they need to do.
So kind of segueing into our next bit too, right? So something I thought was really unique about teams events, right, is obviously, right, we have our own current meta of what's going on in the 40K world and everything, right? However, in a teams event, you have these armies that aren't necessarily meta per se, right, but are still a very popular army of choice just to be, like, for an overall team build and stuff like that. I wanted to get your opinion on that and what do you think some of the top armies for teams are, and or some of the quote must takes are, and how that differs from the meta in your opinion.
Okay, so I'll answer that with, like, kind of a deeper dive too, right? Because usually in team events, there's kind of 2 mindsets in this, and when you're starting to build your list, there's either, hey, we know this army is going to be here, right? Or we know these 2 armies are going to be here. And either A, we pinch them, and since we're building 2 lists to go after said armies, like Catan Nightbringers might be the army everybody's pinching right now, right? And so they build 2 lists, go, hey, we want one of these lists to get into it. We know it can roll over them, like a 15 plus. And so now that's where we're getting points from there, and then we'll worry about kind of everything else. The other idea is, hey, we know what the meta lists are. We're going to avoid those meta lists and play the other scoring game, right? Like, we'll let somebody, get our 20-0 or whatever against Catan. We're worried about the other 4 games going, hey, I want to go get, like, the 15 plus points. But then, as your question asked, like, what do you think the top armies are in teams? It just depends, right? So theoretically, Catans are really good right now with Necrons, but then Knights kind of counter that. But then Knights get countered by other things, right? And then you have, like, the Ultramarine builds, which are all good. I think the good thing I think that teams brings is the skew list, right? So most Ultramarine players won't bring 18 Bishop's Guard. But by guys, you can get layout 8, with 18 Victor's Guard, great on you. Or layout 7 with, 18 Victor's Guard, good on you. And then you have, like, layout 2, which is, Shooting Army's Dream. Tau is really good right now. It can kind of play on both, but, like, Tau on open on 2, against going against hordes or something that's across the board. Really good against that. Guard is really good right now. You can either do the whole bolt build with kind of holding on layout, 4 or 6, or you just go tank heavy and go from there. And the other one, like if somebody's going to bring hordes, do you counter with hordes, or to match that, or do you just say, hey, I'm going to build something that stops hordes, right? I'm going to build Eldar with 30 hawks that just kind of block in front and let me score primary. So there's a bunch of different builds. It's hard to say what the 5 best armies are. I always think it's cool to see like Grey Knights in team lists, because not a lot of people are prepared for like the uppy downy on that. Yep. And while it's not great in singles, it's pretty good in teams. So
it is. Yep. That's just like World Eaters. World Eaters get a power up in teams as well.
Yeah. Well, especially because you get to pick table, hopefully, right?
Well, that's the power up is the is the layout. You get the proper layout. You get whatever you want. You're good to go.
Yeah. Yep.
I know I lived in the stars for twice because of that. Good captains and great opportunities on great layout submissions. So Regal was one of them. So matter of fact, you were the head judge for that event, and James from Gateway. Shout out to Gateway, man. Love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, because you got best journal with Warriors there. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about it, right? Like, is the ability to play that idea and then understand, like, hey, I want to be first defender because I have an army that needs to pick which layout I get. And so that in itself is a whole pairing thing, right?
Yep.
To answer Jake's question, not nearly as professionally, the best army for teams is Recon Guard. 300 guard on any of the layouts. You brought 4 Catan, 300 bodies. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everyone wants to pilot 300 guards, man. But I will give a shout out to Nemo, and he had a fun question of how many primary points were scored against him. I think it was against it in Worlds or at the team event, and the answer was 0.
Yep.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a hero for your team and also in severe pain for the next 2 to 3 weeks, Recon Guard, go. You heard it here.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
I couldn't imagine the mental strain of like trying to be like, oh, did I pull the plasma out of here? This guy's last little thing. Like, dude, and then there's like 18 of them, and you're like, that guy's got 3 shots per body, and there's 8 of those guns, and then there's 3, but these ones hit on 3s. That was him 4. That's a lot.
But that's a lot. Also, more towards JD thing, like using his event for example, layout 8 has mission G and mission O, which are both terraform and hidden supplies. And let me tell you, you just take 30 Terminator bodies and you just say, I'm here, I'm scoring primary, do something about it. And this is also where pairing comes in, because you can pair down to that, like you were talking about, by pinning armies. By be like, oh, your first defender is Death Guard. Well, do you want my Railgun Tau or my 9 exalted 8-bound World Eaters? And it's like, well, we don't want one of those. We'll take the Tau, I guess. And then you can kind of force it down. And that's the pre-game to the actual games, and where those pre-event talks with your captain and be like, hey, and I mean, and to use it in a good connotation, list tailoring is actually brought, like JD was saying, also known as skewing, is encouraged.
Yep.
Like a Tau player can just go, oh yeah, here's wow, they think I'm bad on layout 8. Well, actually, I'm just going to be red cadre, and since I have to be within 9 to shoot you on most lanes anyway, but blam, better shooting. Not worse.
Listen, I think it was Nick Nanavati who brought like 3 Tantalus to ATC Tennessee like 2 or 3 years ago. It was crazy.
Yes.
That was the same year I won Best General with Orcs. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was the same year. I remember that vividly because that was when I won with Orcs. And I remember the 3 like large, just stupid large boats him just like jumping out with grotesque or something like that. I was just like, this is a spectacle.
That's
very
very
handled that.
spite one night.
Very scintillating.
Well, I think, like, again, like as a world leader player, Lewis, like teams allow you to bring like 60 berserkers. Like you probably wouldn't bring that in a singles list.
No.
But if you can avoid things that kill 60 berserkers, you have a great time with that, right? So.
Yeah. You definitely kill a 300 recon guard really quick. Just saying. You got the recon guy. Hey, I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah.
You think so until they all got like 3-up saves with cover, and there's 300 of them. You're just like, oh my god! It's worse than it sounds.
Listen, sir. The last time I checked, you don't get cover from chain swords.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you the notoriously AP 0 weapons. Yeah, okay.
AP1, sir. AP1 for chain swords.
But yeah, no. So and it's cool because like JD was talking about earlier, the layouts / deployments and missions where you're the defender picks table, attacker picks mission, really helps balance that dynamic of like who got to pick the table, but I get to pick the mission with the armies. And you can say, you know what? I'm first defender. We're putting myself down. I'm going to go down every time. Give me layout too. Like I'm Tau first defender. You know what? I'll play Kayun because whoever we put in probably doesn't want to be aggressive. And then by turns 3, 4, and 5, when we have to play the game, you know what? And again, that's just, or someone can be like, I'm Monka. They might hide from me, but I'm going to go to them. Like I'll make it their problem. And even if I die, I'll be so great. So there's many different dynamics depending on the table you want, the needs of your team, the type of player you are. And like Lewis said, for world eaters, can they really shine? You're like, Tau, like, I'm not really good in the knights. I don't really do a lot of damage. I don't wound well above T10 or whatever. Okay, you don't gotta play knights. We'll have our knight player or the Nightbringer and the Void Dragon guy fight the knights. You go kill the medium toughness armies.
Yeah,
you can just do that. Like that's again a pairing and like the team like cohesion design before the event. If you can't tell, that's my favorite part is the pairing process and building a team.
I mean, I just love teams. Like I think,
yeah.
It's weird to say. Like I know the game's not built to play teams, but everybody's kind of embraced teams, or a lot of people embrace teams. And now, if you took a poll, a lot more people enjoy teams because of all these dynamics. Like it opens up the game more, and it even opens up armies more. Again, like we talked about earlier, it's like there's armies you might not play in singles because you just might not have a good experience with them, but in teams, maybe it catches people off guard, right? Maybe it it's something that bodes well if you get to pick a layout or a certain mission.
I'm personally preparing for the 1 or 2 teams to have just the flock of birds on the layout too. Like, no, you thought it was Tau, but it's birds instead. Get wrecked.
Yeah.
Because they could be. And then those birds are also just as good on layout 8 because it's like, oh yeah, he's back here, but my pink horrors are stringed up to see you anyway. So blam. Yeah. So
most armies usually, or most teams usually say, hey, these are the 2 armies, or these are 2 layouts I want to be playing, right? So again, if you're first defender, if you lose the roll off, you're getting second table choice, and maybe you don't get your first table choice. So then in turn, you're like, oh, I can play on this or this, or this or this. But again, that's the cool thing about building a list in team environments. You can go, hey, these are the layouts I want to play, regardless of who it's against, or these are the armies I want to play, regardless of what the layout is. So,
yep. And then so we've been saying first defender, attacker a lot. That goes back to like roles in the team, and also to the point of every point you score
We lost him. He was talking too much. His device couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, but like what maybe I was going to mention is like, oh, there he's back. He's back.
Yeah, I don't know what keeps happening.
The Matrix.
What I'm going to say is like Death Guard is a great like blunter army, right?
Yes.
It just goes and gets points, right? So people go, hey, I'm going to take this army, and all it is here to get like 10 points against any army it goes against, right? So.
No, you're not invited. Frontline Gaming.
They were definitely invited. My boy.
Sorry, it might be your channel, but it's in the band. Calm down.
Tell them
Exactly.
to gather 5. Jorge, gather 5 frontline, make a frontline gaming team. You know?
Hurry up! You could be the
Yeah.
Mercs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think most of them are flying in from Vegas, but Jorge's not that far.
Oh, come on. It's for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to Frontline Gaming.
That's what we should have done is like left him in here, let him just go down to Florida, play the team event, then flew out of there.
Love it. Shout out to them.
But yeah, no, team events are awesome. I mean, it's more of what like most people I've talked to love about 40K. It's more playing with your friends. It's it's more of what most people play 40K for.
Yeah.
And it also takes the sting away from like losing, because even if you lose, it's like, hey, I'm going into a bad matchup, but like instead of getting 20-0'd, I can get 12-8'd. And you're like, oh man, sorry, I got 14-6. Like, hey, they still didn't get the 20 they thought they were going to get. High five, hell yeah, man. So that it's just fun. It's good. It's and there's value in everything you do, even if you fail, to do as much as you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody wants to play with their friends, right? And that's where team events come from. So.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Great segue, JD. Camaraderie, the opportunity to spend time with your friends, meet new friends, go out there, just see what's going out there in the world of 40K, and really enjoy yourself in a team aspect. It's really nice when you have a great team captain. You can kind of break everything down, understand your proper missions and layouts, and you can articulate things. Someone has some feedback on there. But yeah, stuff like that. It's just great. Team events are absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, what's Jake saying?
Much love.
Oh, thanks, Jake. You're the best.
Yes, more team events. More team events. Well, can we do a 16-man team event one day? Like a 16-man something just crazy?
No. I'm gonna put him on blast. If I'm not back in 2 weeks, you guys know why.
It's a football team.
I shared the most chaotic idea with him, and he shut me down. A team event that's doubles format. So it's a 5-man team that's 10 people and two with 1,000 point limit. The JD, that was his reaction.
Yeah.
But he was over here with 16-man team event. That's not fair.
16-man is bananas. Like, dude, you got to have like 1,000 people just to do it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. JD could do that. Like JD, FLG, GW.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
You heard it about first, folks. Second LVO team event coming up.
16 people.
Yeah, see?
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, there's 23 fractions right now. Wait, 8, 16. Yeah, 23. It'd be 23 on 23.
I'm in.
Space Marines. All Space Marines. Come on, Chaos. Where's the Chaos love?
Well, I mean, there's only one Space Marine faction you take. You take all 5 or all 4 Chaoses if you want. So, and I mean, Team USA did that last year at WTC. They took basically all 5 forms of Chaos. So,
did they really?
Yeah.
Love it. See, that's why I love
it. They were good. So, and I mean, they still good.
Titans. What a mad lad.
Yeah. And I know on Lewis's side of things, the thing we appreciate, Lewis, as TOs and judges, is I will stand behind this. I think there's less judge calls in team events. And I think it's because you're playing next to your friends. And you're usually playing against teams that you might know. And it's easier to turn to your friend and go, hey, how does this stratagem work? Or like, how can I do this? Like, it's easier to ask these questions when you're next to your friends than it is like, a group of strangers where you're like, oh, I have to call a judge because I don't know who's unless am I right. So.
True indeed.
Oh, as a captain and as coming from an event that was pretty good quality of player pool. Like they were tough matches there and some very high caliber players. Like down like into the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, Cherokee is amazing. I have never been, but I've heard nothing but great things. I'm always running an event.
I'm kidnapping them next year. I'm blacklisting the weekend for Onslaught events, and I'm dragging them away. But what I was gonna say is, if nothing else, and it should be much more, but please read over your rules. There were so many opponents I played that I had to like, hey, your rule does this too, and they were all like, they were like, no, I've been playing all this way forever, and they go and look, and they're like, oh god, and it wasn't they were cheating, it was that they were shorting themselves on what they could have done, and I'm like, God, please just open your codex. It's right there, I promise. Well, go on the app. Don't read the codex. That might be out of date.
Well, that's the beauty about 40K, right? We have a variety of different level of players. And team events, I've seen as of recently, JD can attest to this probably as well. You see new players coming in for their first tournament to a team event because it's less intimidating than like a GT where you're going by yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what we always say, like fives is like I don't want to say the introductory, but like the startup teams in the sense of like it's easy for most local game stores or local teams to go, I have 3 friends, so I just need to find a fifth, right? And that's the way that some of these bonds happen. Like again, some of these teams might find other teammates later on, like, oh, I played from here. Oh, I didn't know you were here, and they gather this team after the team event to do even more teams together. So I think it's a better environment to find closer players to you, but also at the same time, like the community itself.
The social commitment aside, 8-man teams are my favorite because once you get past five, maybe even 6 teams, or I don't know, into 6-man, like once you get past 5 armies, you really start like reaching into the dregs of like, oh, singles, this would be a death sentence, but in an 8-man, we could actually like leverage this for an unexpected like 15-5, and you get some really cool army appearances. So yeah, it's I
mean, I agree. I think 5s and 8s are like children. You can't pick who your favorite is. Especially since I run 5. Yeah. 3s are not my favorite. We'll just say that. But I think they both have merits, right? Like you said, like there's 8 armies that can compete, and the pairing process is a little bit different in 8s. But when it comes to 5s, it's like easier to make a team. And there's, I don't want to say there's double amount of 5 events in 8-man or 8-player events, but there are more 5-player events than there are 8-player events.
So JD, when you get to play, how often do you get to play? Which one do you enjoy the most, 5 or 8? You personally?
Despite what you just said, pick a favorite.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the last team event I played in.
That's more what I'm trying to get to. Yeah, your last event. You not being able to play as often.
I know. But, well, fun fact, I played in a little RTT like the second weekend of January. I had like a weekend off, so I got to play a local RTT game. So, but I will say I'm trying to play more games like in person. Usually, like the night before an event or something like that. Because again, like you probably know just as much as like if you're running a bunch of events, you don't get that time to go to the GTs and all that. So I'm trying to do more in-person live games, but at the same time, I probably TTS twice a week, just to keep the skill sets up. And the best again as a judge and all that, as you know, it's like playing TTS. You're like, oh, I didn't know how that's what that army did. Cool, good to know, sort of thing. So.
Yep. No, I agree. We didn't want to hold you, JD, but are you good, brother? Continue on. Can we ask you a couple more questions?
Absolutely. Ask away.
All right. Thank you, brother. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
Next,
have a great time.
Next Onslaught event you go to judge, because that's the next event out. Next couple events I'm going to are Onslaught. You're there. I'll play the night before. I would love to.
Well, I mean, I don't know what my schedule looks like, but yeah.
Yeah, no, again, it's busy, but like, hey, that night before a tournament game, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
JD is always welcome to play. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got you. But before we continue on with that, we're going to pay the bills real quick. and we'll be right back. And this is a great introduction to away games as well. So make sure to grab your terrain. Welcome to Big Bear 3D, your ultimate destination for top quality terrain and weapon props. Whether you're setting the stage for your next epic battle or enhancing your collection, Big Bear 3D has you covered. Don't forget to scan the QR code to explore our full range and bring the event home with you. Happy gaming! Big Bear 3D is excited to collaborate with Away Games, bringing top-tier competitive experiences to events across North America with our adaptable modular event tables. The Away Games event table, official for the American Team Championship and standard for the National Tabletop League, can now bring the event home. Pick up the Away Games 2024 event table to replicate any layout featured in ATC or NTL circuit events. Big Bear 3D is thrilled to offer sci-fi weapon props and raw part kits, printed in PLA plastic with all necessary assembly hardware included. We've also partnered with Hobby Goblins to provide assembled and painted prop kits for our customers. And don't forget, bring the event home with you. So, JD, that was my best impression as being an advertiser.
Well,
you know Big Bear, right? So
yeah.
this was I don't know how long ago this was. This was like in the middle of our relationship when I've known you, right? So I'm like, Big Bear's like, helping me out. Shout out to Big Bear as well. He's a great support system for both me and JD. I know he does a lot of work with you. With that being said, I was showing him the video and he was like, no, you need to put some more gusto into it, man. Come on. He's like, dude, you gotta sell it, man. You gotta sound good. And I was like, do I sound robotic? He was like, yeah, pretty much.
You know your sales pitch is missing?
So I had to redo it like 20 times.
You like green?
Yes. That's the best I can do, brother.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Rico?
I said I'm gonna buy you like get you a custom Away Games cloak and just like green screen you over it, like just cloak flowing. That'll get people attention.
Yeah.
Justin, I believe this is Justin from Plasma Minis asked, will there be swag at ATC?
There will be. There will be swag. And then so fun fact is, and Lewis knows this, so I stole this idea from him. I give him all the credit every time I talk about it. Is we'll also be giving raffles. So every time there's a loss, you get a loss. You get a raffle ticket, and then we give away usually GW product to raffles. And it's like the thing we always say is the first, second, third, the winners kind of get trophies, and then the people with their tickets get GW product. So there you go.
Also,
but there will be a bunch of swag and all that. So
to add on to that, JD has some beautiful trophies, and on both ends for players and TOs, it is so many trophies because you have to get faction trophies. You have to get for 15 people. If it's only a 5, if it's 8, then you have to do 24, right? So plus whatever factions. So with that being said, for those of you who don't get great opportunities to get that, that I've accomplished a goal feeling, team events is also good for that as well. So it gives you that motivation to continue to play on, because if you can win best in faction like World Leaders or Sisters of Battle, right? So that'll continue to motivate you as well. So just letting people know that so many factors of team events are absolutely amazing, and JD just really ramps it up with his trophies.
Thank you. Yeah, so we'll have first, second, third for teams. We'll have best overall, which is just the highest, win rate, if you will. We'll have best painted, but we also have teamed up with Routcan Studios to give out first, second, third place on that as well. Then we'll have best super factions, which is Imperium, Xenos, and Chaos. And then as Lewis touched on, we'll have best in faction overall. So you'll have 23 of those trophies as well to give out. With if agents show up. If agents don't show up, which sometimes they don't, I just take that trophy home and do it all over again. So.
You have the same lonely
just gonna
trophy,
say,
agent
They make
trophy.
like 7 of them.
24.
I have 7 of them.
To
I'll
the,
make my own agent army with them.
fun fact about last year's Crucible, no one brought agents. So actually,
Yeah.
my roommate got no one brought sisters. So my roommate got Best in Faction sisters because
Yeah.
Lou was like, I don't want to. I'm not taking it home. Like I want to get rid of these. I got them to give them away. So
There you
I'm
go.
like, hey, here, roommate, you're Best in Faction sisters at the event.
There you go.
He was a ringer, right? He was a ringer. Yeah.
But no, what I was going to say to touch on that as well is kind of what Recon said here is that even though like we talked about the camaraderie and the friends, and like even if your role is the blunter, you can still be like, all right, I can still get Best in Faction. I could still like score the points for my team, and also after the 5 rounds, hey, I did get Best in Faction Death Guard. So there are like you said, motivations, even if it's not victory after victory.
This is Chris Frosty, by the way. I saw he's gonna do agents to spite you, JD.
Bring it. I mean, I think last ATC Florida, what's his name? Plays for like the Florida Alliance. Charles.
Yes,
Charlie.
Charlie Flowers. Yes, I love Charlie Flowers. Love you, Charlie.
Yeah. So he brought agents that did well with him. So
yes, he did.
Yeah. So
he went undefeated. Actually,
if you're going trophy hunting, and you really want one of these factions, go with these obscure factions, if you will.
I would suggest GSC. No one's touching GSC. Even the GSC specialists are not playing GSC right now.
Yeah.
How's your time?
All you gotta do is show up.
There it is. Here's your moment.
And also, for all of you playing Space Marines, you deserve it. Because you said there's 24 teams?
23 factions, and there's 23 teams. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be 23. You're going to be going against 22 other people because they're going to be on every team.
Yeah. Well, so I think Lewis and Onslaught's helping me out this week with our faction breakdown too. So list will be due.
I love those so much.
Yeah, they're amazing. So list will be due tomorrow night, and then hopefully Thursday we'll open up list of faction breakdown, and then the best thing I think we do is we do pairings on Friday. So it allows teams basically a 24-hour period to get that first pairing in. It also helps us out too because everybody kind of knows where they're going and all that. Yeah. But yeah, so Wednesday we'll have all the factions locked in. Thursday we'll have the faction breakdown, courtesy of Lewis and Onslaught. And then Friday we'll do pairings, and then Saturday will be the event. So.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Y'all need to come out. If you don't come out this year, come out next year. It's absolutely amazing. It's gonna be a great time. Are we gonna do like a dinner on Saturday? We gotta do a dinner on Saturday. We gotta grab some food somewhere.
I mean, we usually go to that Korean place. Remember we did that last year?
Yes.
By he means all like 98 of you or 96 of you.
That would be good. I mean, well, luckily that place that Lewis, christened and showed off, and like we've kind of gone back every year, has its own bar, has its own food, and they've been real kind to us. So like, and bar
Big Masters?
8:00. Big Masters, yeah.
Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. It's like 8 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So
Korean barbecue. Yeah, I think it is, right? Korean barbecue?
Yeah, right down the road.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited. Jake, are you frozen?
He's doing homework or something.
Jake is
he's list building.
He's just eating creatine.
Caffeine. You're muted, buddy.
Yeah,
that's great. No, I'm here. I was typing up a list of some stuff, and also looking at some things.
Look at the new towel. Is that what you're doing?
No.
The custodes. He's a custodes guy.
No, guys. It's a Space Marine lieutenant.
Talking about that, funny enough.
All right, so JD, if you want to hang, yeah, it looks like all the questions are asked. If you want to hang tight with us, brother, you're more than welcome to hang out. We're just going to talk about Cherokee, the 40K meta. You're more than welcome to input your information, but
I will leave it to y'all. I will let y'all talk about Cherokee. I was there.
yes, you were. Oh, for you as well.
Yeah. It was my first. I will leave it with this because I know you're going to go to the Cherokee. It was my first Cherokee, and I was blown away. I've heard nothing but good things about Cherokee with the casino and the place and all that. Besides, like kind of the windy roads to get there, it was an amazing time. And like shout out to Frontline Gaming and all this is like it's the biggest event technically, on the East Coast because it surpassed Nova when it came to 400 plus players. They doubled their players from last year to this year, and it was amazing. And we're already looking forward to next year's for it. So shout out to Frontline Gaming. They put on a heck of a show. So.
Shout out FOG.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'll leave y'all to it. Thank you again for having me. If you have any questions about me, you can Discord me. Literally, my name is JD in Discord, so it's not hard to find me. And then if you're a team looking for to play, come on out. I have 5 mercs, take 5 mercs for odd numbers. What's up?
I do have one more thing. Something that Lewis put out earlier, and I kind of wanted to, share on the show as well because hey, you never know who's listening. Lewis put out something about you guys are going to be there Friday after 4 or so, setting up tables, and so if anybody one,
we'll be there at 1, but we'll take any support, any help you can get.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to go talk to Jenny or just help with the event, it's what, like 12 sets of 5 tables, 13 sets of 5 tables.
It is 12 sets of 5 tables.
That's 60 tables. Plus it's actually, and then it's 12, team match pairing tables. So I just wanted to share that. If anyone else, kind of didn't know, that put the call for assistance out there because it is a lot of work.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. And then I will say the process goes faster because again, I think Lewis, you have the same as we have, the same sponsor is War Games FX with their objective markers and that just makes everything a little bit faster. So again, we'll be there. Me and Lewis will at least be there by 1. If y'all want to come out, help out, set up. I think the doors close at 6, so just be aware of that. So we'll show a little bit after that. But if not, then I'll see y'all on Saturday morning. 8 o'clock doors open. We have captain meeting and we go right into it. So
yeah, excited, baby. Yeah. Thank you very much, JD. Round of applause.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to meeting up with you. Nice to meet you. Hang out with you. Regal, always a pleasure. I'm sad you're not going to be there, but
me too.
Lewis, I'll see you days, man.
Take care, brother. Much love. Peace.
Have a good one. First of all, Clay, if you got a camera, come join us. You were at Cherokee.
One more time, shout out for JD.
This is Stashman Clay is my road trip buddy who joined me and my wonderful fiance up to Cherokee and stayed with us. Tolerated us is the way I would word it. Tolerated me. She was a treasure. It's not us. It was me. It's okay. But no, I also went to Cherokee. It's my second year going. I went in 2024. I didn't go last year. But no, it was my second year there, and it was oh my god, it was great. The casino itself is a maze because the floors, man. You go up to floor 3, walk around a curve on the hallway, and be on floor 2 to have to go back up to floor 3 to get to the actual convention hall.
Yeah.
And that's if you park on the right side. The first time I parked, because I thought I knew where I was going, like a man. I didn't.
So it's a real walk. It's a real walk then.
It is like a mile from the car garage. Because how it works is there's hotel, casino in the middle. Well, hotel, restaurants kind of where the casino and hotel merge. And then a long hallway to the actual convention center, which is where the event is.
Yeah.
And our first day we went, and we spent longer walking from my truck to the convention hall Then it took us to drive from the Airbnb to the casino. It was a hike, but
Wow.
no, it was great. It was a wonderful event. And fun
parking.
fact, parking was awesome. Parking was like not even a problem. It was great.
The cost.
Didn't.
Oh, nice. That's my favorite type of parking.
Exactly. But yeah, it's only
No, listen, I gotta ask because Crucible is like, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's like $25 per day.
Yep. No, it was there's valet parking or there's free parking. The free parking is either on higher floors in the car garage or in like a little side lot. I say little, but it's like a small Walmart parking lot. And even walking from there, it's like a 4-minute walk to the building. It's not even that bad. So it was good. And it's gorgeous. My God, if you guys have, it's so beautiful. It snowed the last day and a half we were there, which was great.
Yeah.
My first time ever seeing snow, so that was an experience.
What?
The girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, I'm Florida born and raised.
My lordy. You need to get out more, man.
I am. I'm
You have a sandbox.
I'm just vamping until my fiance comments about something because she was there too, but she's not going to. She's shy. I'm just gonna call her out and she's gonna yell at me later. It's fine. But no, it was a wonderful time. The event was great. 7 rounds. I played all 7. I had the wildest coincidental ride. It's like being at one of your events, Lewis. For those of you who don't know, Lewis loves to pair me into my own friends, not new people. I don't know why he does that.
I was new.
You were new. And then I went on to play not only Clay at Crucible after you, but also Matt from Almost Functional as well. And I'm like, I know you guys. There are like almost 200 of us here, and I get the 2 of you that I know.
But that's the problem. When you have a small circle, that circle starts growing, and then you start knowing everyone, and you're playing against everyone you know at all times.
You know what? It's fine, Lewis. You just need a better pool of players at your events. What can I say?
No, something funny though. You were talking about Clay popping in here. When I was frozen off like little dilly daddle little typing, I was texting Clay about some stuff. We were talking about 11th and the new Custodes models and my desperate desire for some rules reworks.
Hey, after this, I got a question for you. I don't want to. It's personal, so I'm gonna dock shot on the air. But after I gotta ask you, Clay. Don't. We're getting to that. Calm down. It's very exciting, but please. No. So I had wonderful opponents.
Is that Clay?
Yes, that's Clay.
What? I love you, Clay. Big heart.
I was just like talking to the ether, like Clay. Your spirit is with us.
I thought you were talking about him, like in third person. You were texting him and stuff like that. I didn't know, man. Shout out to Clay, one of the most beautiful people, man. Shout out to that man.
When I said get in here, he's like he would, but I got a camera. So, but yeah, no, it's round 1 and 2. I played brothers back to back. That was fun. My first opponent was a Grey Knight player. But a wonderful game.
Yeah.
And then he was telling me that his brother plays Eldar, and he brought 15 Fire Dragons and Fugit. And for reasons I'll get to a bit later, I did not want to go into that list at all. I'm having lunch, and Clay comes over to me, and he's like, "Hey, you're playing this guy with Fire Dragons." And I'm like, I look at the name; it's the same last name. I'm like, I swear, if I got the one guy out of 430 people, I did. So that was fun. My third match was into Tau, a wonderful gentleman who actually wanted to play the narrative, but I guess couldn't because it sold out, so ended up going in the competitive, and good for him. He was playing Montclaw Tau at Trip Tides and a Railgun Hammerhead, and trashed me. That was fun.
He was playing the narrative? My lordy.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, dude, I don't think you need to. You got it. You're good.
That guy woke up with Tau and just chose violence.
Well, again, it was a super series of coincidences because I played him round 3. Round 6, he was Clay's opponent.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was fun.
So he got the Tau. He likes Tau too, so maybe, it helped him out in retrospect.
It did. It basically their game went the opposite of how when I played him went. So it was good stuff. Good job on Clay.
Nice.
He navigated that match way better.
But I heard he's still walking from Cherokee at the moment.
We're getting
losing a bad bet.
we're getting that.
Is that why he really doesn't have a camera? Because
he's on the road right now. He's that was day one. They did it in a format I've never seen. They did it was 7 rounds, and it was day 1 was 3 rounds, and day 2 and 3 were 2 rounds each, which was actually kind of nice to get the big 3 events in a day out of the way first. Trying to think. Oh yeah, so day 2 I go in and I face off. My round 1 opponent is a Sisters player, and I play. For those of you who have not or new here, haven't heard me talk, all of my friends play, Tau, Sisters, Eldar, Grey Knights, World Eaters, and some variations of Space Marines are like the main 6 armies I play, and Knights and Chaos Knights. I put them together. My first 6 opponents were all of those. This was a Sisters player. He had Vol and Vol guns. It was Hollowed Martyrs, which was cool. He's revive a character trick, bought him like 9 extra points on primary, which was super nice.
So everything you didn't want.
On the outskirts of Atlanta. What's funny is basically stopped the outskirts of Atlanta for like 3 hours for lunch. So we were there.
Would he technically be like around Atlanta right now?
No. If he was walking, he'd have been. No, he'd be in Florida by now.
Really? Okay.
Hey, he could be sightseeing. Wheelies in
Stopping
the
at
Buc-ee's parking lot.
Stopping at Buc-ee's. He could be stopping at Buc-ee's.
No, it was his and my partner's first time at Buc-ee's on the way up there. And they were like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's an experience." I'm like, "I'm not even like a huge Buc-ee's fanboy, but it is. You just have to see it."
You gotta get the brisket burrito. That's the move.
We did. It was delicious.
Yes.
Brisket on the board.
Behind the scenes action. My fiance's out at the kitchen table painting models, and I just heard her from down the hallway. Yeah, it tasted really nice because her and my roommate, I assume, are watching right now. So
Dude, I have no sponsorship whatsoever, but I run an event at Brooksville. Shout out to Neverboard Games over there, and the fantastic store they have, fantastic people. But right next to it, for my lunchtime, I end up going to Dickie's Barbecue, and man, their brisket is like mouth-watering, just falls apart. It's delicious. So go check them out. I'm not sponsored by them, but hey, if you're listening, we could be, right? We'll eat briskets on stream.
Well, hey, you know what? If it's for sponsorship, I'll make the sacrifice.
Protein!
But so me and him had a great match. And my next match was into World Eaters, which I also have a plethora of experience into.
Yes.
Although we did have Angron, which was a nice surprise. Most cowards aren't running Angron.
Cowards.
We had a fun,
shame on them. The nails got a bite.
We had a fun match. And up until this point, I just want to point out I have played Fugan in round 2, Vol in round 4, and Angron now in round 5. And I had to kill all 3 of them twice because Fugan got his 2 up, Vol had the strat spent to come back from death, and Angron got the 3 6s the next top of the next round after I killed him.
Oh my god!
And Lewis, you'd have liked the guy. He was a wonderful guy. He was actually excited to play me because what my list was. Those of you waiting in suspense, it's coming. Keep watching. This is how we keep watch time going.
Right. It's crazy list, by the way. It is a nutso list.
But no, when he rolled his dice, and I was doing my, getting my ready for my turn because I had top of turn. I didn't want it, but I got it. And all I hear him, he's like, "Oh, Dad's back," and I'm like, "Oh God, I know what that means." I don't want to kill him again.
Oh no!
But we also had all of my opponents were wonderful. They were fantastic through the highs and the lows of this game that we all play for some reason. And then so that was the end of day 2. Going into day 3, my round 1 opponent was Dark Angels, Gladius, not Wrath of Rock. I put the line in the dirt like the dog he is. And then I proceeded to not kill a single other unit all game because this guy could roll fours like no one, I believe. I put between his inner circle companions with Azrael and just a normal Terminator squad, not even Deathwing, just 5 normal Terminators. I put 13 rounds of shooting, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, and yet he lost like 6 models total over 3 turns, and I'm like, what is happening? So that was fun. We had a great game with that. He was a fantastic opponent. Yeah, I got my got the crap kicked out of me. It was awesome. Going into round 7. Round 7 was the biggest surprise of the whole event because again, there at this point some people have dropped. There's 415 of us, so 414 other people. And out of all those people, the FLG gods decide I would get to play Clay. The one person I knew there other than JD.
Well, no, even worse, your trip mate, the person you took the trip with. That's even worse. That's even worse because you drove there together. You probably strategized together, talked about the missions and everything together, and then you end up playing against each other. It's just like,
I was almost made.
Or it's blissful because for higher competitive players, they end up usually being in those positions because they know each other. Like I was telling you.
It was a mix of both for reasons that'll be apparent here soon. Keep watching. It's coming. But first, on the subject of strategizing, me and him, according to my fiance, talked for 11 hours straight about Warhammer on the 12-hour trip up there. In my defense, it was like 8, but it's okay. We did, though. We strategized his list, my list, the missions, the layouts, the potential opponent matchups, all of it. Just all of it. And we basically decided the one list he didn't want to see was mine because his list was a stat check and my list, which I will now tell you, thank you, this is a reward for your patience, was a stat check on the completely other end of the spectrum. I did not run Tyranids. I had a very, I don't know, lightning in a bottle moment.
Angry, a very angry list.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like a single pebble moves and like it causes an entire avalanche. For those of you who don't know, the Corn Little Skulls and World Eaters is 505 points, and it's worth most of that point value. Maybe a little less, but most of it. It's so you can't take it as an ally, I think, or something. I don't know. But the CSM Lord of Skulls is only 450 points. So taking 3 of them ends up being 165 points cheaper. And that is insane. So my list was, I took the Soulforged War Pact, which is the Demon Vehicle detachment for CSM, with Vastor, 3 Tech Marines with enhancements, 4 units of 10 Cultists, because they're only 50 points, and that's way too cheap, and 3 Corn Lord of Skulls. And we can maybe do like a list breakdown in a different video, but the basic part of it is the detachment gives demonic vehicles either +1 to wound and shooting, which all of their guns that I took were strength 14, 16 next to Vastor because he makes all their weapons +6 strength.
Yep.
So strength 16 +1 to wound is wounding anything in the game on 2s. Just insane. And then the melee buff for if you packed is +2 attacks to your characteristic. So they have a strike that's 5 or a sweep that's 15. What up, monstrosities?
Thank you, beautiful. You're sexy.
And so yeah, that was the list. And the reason I went through my matchups, my Grey Knight matchup was against Banishers with a 4-up to wound, 4-up anti-chaos strat. Then 15 Fire Dragons and Fugue and Eldar. Then I went into Tide and Rail Cannon Monka Tau. Then Hallowed Martyrs with Vol Guns and Castigators and Exorcist Sisters. Followed by World Eaters with Angron and Exalted 8-Bound and Slaughterbound. Into the Dark Angels, which with the anti 4-up maces on the Deathwing Knights. And sorry, I left that part of the list. Because he was Gladius, he had a Lieutenant with Fire Discipline and 10 Hellblasters. boy, were those fun. And then like I said, my last matchup was into Clay, who ran Plague Legion, and actually did a lot more damage than most of my other matchups. Like Plague Legion is no joke. His list is really fine tuned. I'm not going to give away the sauce because I'm not a dirty snitch, but yeah, if you look at Plague Legion, you're like, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of OC. I'll just use this other stuff to do instead of killing it to win. You're gonna have a bad time. Also, Clay is a fantastic pilot of that list. So yeah, that was my list. The enhancements I had, or I won Warpsmith, and Warpsmiths are just Chaos Tech Marines. Blown up within 3 of a vehicle, give +1 to hit until your next command phase, heal D3 wounds. You can't stack it on the same vehicle.
Yep.
But the enhancements are ridiculous. I don't think GW accounted for them being used on the Cornwall Skulls. The from least to most important is one of them can move 4 extra inches for a 10-inch move. Very important for early game cleanse and stuff. That's one way to describe it, Clay. That is certainly a descriptor you chose. The next enhancement gives a Feel No Pain to any demon engine within 12 invisible to that particular Warpsmith. 6-up Feel No Pain, so they're a T13, 3-up, 5-up with a 6-up Feel No Pain and 24 wounds that can heal D3 in my command phase. And the last enhancement is a 6-inch aura that says whenever any demon engine keyword unit packs for lethal or sustained, it was always sustained for the reasons I mentioned on the wounding everything on 2s. They also get 4 rerolls to hit, just because. Yeah, it was awesome. My matches were literally, other than my very first one, which was an 11-point loss, all of my matches were pretty much just a mirror of whether I won or lose. If I won, I won in the 90s. If I lost in the 40s, low 50s. And if I won, my opponents lost in the high 40s, low 50s. Or if they won, they beat me in the 90s. So it was very there was a dichotomy there that I noticed. I did go 4-3 though, so I did go positive. And the last thing I'll say about it, in case any of you have questions or comments, because both of these two gentlemen, they knew about the list before I even submitted it. Because I'm like, hey, this can't be as good as it looks, right? Like this can't work like this.
Hold on. He hit me up with it, right? And I'm like, so I'm on the phone and I'm sitting. It's like 11 o'clock at night, right? I'm half tired, and he's like, what if I just do this? And I was like, huh? And then I was like, I get my first immediate reaction, right? Of like, nah, there's got to be something wrong with that. There's no. And then he starts just talking, and then it goes on, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, wait. And then it starts to piece, and I'm like, dang. I was like, okay, sweet. You got a name for the list yet? And I'm like, you should call it Arby's After Dark.
I did almost call it that.
What did you go with?
It was a quote. It said, I feel like you'd be a lot better at 40K if you didn't play Tyranids.
Oh.
My fiance after Crucible 2025. That was the name of the list. Yep. Nope. I asked him. This is my roommate. I explained to him how one Lancer without any kind of sustained or rerolls doesn't actually kill one on average, which is an insane thing to say out loud. But yeah, I got 0 practice games with it because life happened the week before and I didn't get a chance to, unfortunately. So getting no practice, just raw dogging this event. Going positive. I'm very happy with that. The wonderful experience, the people, the snow was gorgeous, even though it was freezing by definition. And again, quality time with Clay. Me and him had never really hung out before, other than matches, before an event or during matches we played. So that was awesome. The way back, we discussed ways to modify his list. I wouldn't even say improve because his list is very, very fine tuned to what it wants to do.
Clay's my goat.
He is a wonderful gentleman. And he was very, very patient and gracious. On the way back, we had a couple of personal stops for myself and the girlfriend. So, and he was very accommodating. So many thanks to him. And next year I told him when Cherokee dates drop and I start making the plan, I'm going to be hitting up many people. I'm going to force, I told Lewis he can come on his own, or I'm going to go to the boss and be like, hey, you and the family want to go to the mountains for a weekend?
Yeah. Dude, actually, snowing this year, they would have really fucking loved that shit. They would have really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Woo! Let's go. We're so in. Also, I'm going to drag Jake because I feel like Jake would love it. He hasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Just let me know the date before I start creating my events in like September, October.
Brother, dates don't drop until end of October, beginning of November. Just plan third weekend of February. Just don't put it on the third weekend of February. That's when it always is.
Okay, third weekend of February. Got it. All right.
Now, live, remember this. Someone clipped this. We couldn't keep tradition, so this year it's last weekend of February. I'm like, damn it.
FLG's listening right now still. Just, yep.
They're like, write that down. But no, it was and huge shout out to FLG. I myself had a traveling malfunction and ended up needing 5 more cultists. So, and they came through great for that. That was wonderful. They did not have to. I could have just played at a deficit, but they, last minute accommodated, helped me figure out a solution. And it was so huge shout out to them. They ran a great event. Again, all, tables were ready. Even the tables, as many of us as there were, because there were other games. There was Legion. There was Marvel Crisis Protocol. There was Age of Sigmar. And I even think there might have been Old World. So it was packed hall. It never felt like claustrophobic. You had to kind of go around people in between the tables, but like I could move myself and my cart pretty freely. So that was also super nice. The way they set it up, had it ready, and just the rounds, were on time. Everything was great. Huge props to them for managing so many events and such a big, the 40K competitive alone so well. You see, he did not know this yet because I had not talked to him because I was exhausted and then went to work. So this is going to be a fun conversation after the show. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, huge shout out to the 40K community. I took a list that I owned exactly this many of the models for. I did not take any of my own models. I did not own any CSM unless you very technically want to count Bellicor, but that's Shadow Legion, so we don't. Lewis let me borrow his Cornwall Skulls, the gentleman that he is. Our good friend Recon by Fire let me borrow his Cornwall Skulls. And then I don't know if he's a fan of the show, but he should be. Dan Piper, I believe is his name.
Daniel Piper.
Yep. He let me borrow Lord of Skulls of his for it. So and then shout out to the Hobby Goblin Club up in Jacksonville. They loaned me the Vashtor and 3 Warp Smiths I needed for the list. So, that was, I was very honored and humbled that so many people would trust me with their models and allow me the experience for this absolute monstrosity of a list. And if any of you are, underplaying the power of just raw stats and rerolls, go on, fire up TTS and just kind of play a game. Just like get one of your friends to script and be like, let me see what this can do. The shooting is kind of iffy because it's at the mercy of D6 and 2D6 shots. I killed everything I touched in melee. Like I said, the Lion did not make it through more than 2 rounds of melee.
Oh, you getting called out online.
While people were texting you to shut the ball ban up on the stream, I answered that.
My bad. Wow.
But
all right,
no, so,
I'm gonna shut up now.
No, Cherokee
Speaking
was
of,
awesome.
you talking about the running up a TTS game and just like doing some math out and stuff, right? I've actually on several occasions played a TTS game against myself.
Yep.
And I played like my 2 armies against each other, right? or I just messed around and threw another army that I can kind of like half play because I get the whole gimmick. Maybe I'm not the best at it, but I can kind of like pilot it to a normal degree, at least how I think it runs, right? And then I'll go and like if something's super super unrealistic of like a result, right? I'll kind of like average out dice rolls too. Like I'll go and like see how things play out on quote average in my head, what I think should be average. You know what I mean? And then see how that goes. And I think it's kind of cool when you can like manipulate the dice rolls to then like be what you consider average, and then see how that actually like plays out. Like, kind of like a visual for it. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I do something very similar. In my head, I do a lot of like, okay, if I move scout or I move or I advance, or like, oh, what is this unit's damage average into this unit? So it's very good. It doesn't make you better per se, like skill wise, but I will suggest that to everyone watching or something similar, because of what it does do is it makes you faster, and that is a valuable skill in and of itself, is being able to play well under the, like, if you can get a match done on average in 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes, that means when you do get stumped by a problem or a situation or a dice variance that puts you back further than you planned on, you then have those extra couple of minutes to reassess and like realign yourself, rather than just making more mistakes because you're trying to not get timed out.
So monstrosities, right? That is the entire point. You know what you're going to do next turn, right? Because like when you're playing a game of 40k, right, you should try to like have a realistic idea of what your opponent is going to do the next turn, right? And then you shape out your turn accordingly, right? And so when you're playing against yourself and you know exactly what you're going to do the next turn, right, that's how you're able to really actually play around it, right? And I mean, yeah, you know what's going to happen, right? But you got to see how you're going to have to respond to it, right? And then it all goes in terms of like which side of your table went first, right? Does this army have to be the reactive, right? Or does this army have to be the one that takes the initiative? You know what I mean? And then like force yourself into those positions, and like it's crazy how it gets you thinking.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to Miniature Monstrosities, by the way, too. He was texting me. That's who was texting me the whole time.
Oh, you were giggling and smiling?
I knew it was someone watching. Oh, and not just for JD. If any of you want to play this man, he does not get nearly enough games in. Hit him up and just bug him. Eventually, he'll find time. It might be 3 a.m, but he'll find time.
You pointed towards Jake. Jake? 3 o'clock in the morning?
I'm up at that time. Thank you. I actually had to be up at 4 in the morning, actually.
Actually, look, no, you can't play Jake. That's his hot tub hours. You can't. Don't interrupt the man.
Okay. That is my hot tub hours.
Jake is playing 40k at 4 a.m. in the morning.
that does at like 6 a.m. But yeah,
you joke. Like I think it was a couple of days before Crucible, I was sleep talking list builds next to my fiance. She's like, "Did you sleep at all?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just dreamt about 40k all night." She's like, "So, even in my sleep?"
Yep.
Lewis is like, "I'm prescription for Regal, psychiatric assessment." He's like, "Nope."
Got it.
It's the wonders of ADHD. People don't worry about it. I'm fine.
I was gonna send a wellness check and find a hive mind in the corner, just pull the screen.
Yeah. So
no,
you have
pluribus, little lip kiss, and they're all good. It's fine.
And it's all over with. Yeah. So you had a wonderful weekend at Cherokee. What is your next adventure, Jake? What are you doing next?
The camp. I am beyond hyped.
Camp.
The blueberries are getting really blue. They're getting really blue.
Extra blue.
Me and Copper Top Connor from our last stream, he was in the chat, right? He's my painter boy, and we were working together. We were painting together my blueberries. I was paying him, of course. No unpaid labor, don't worry. And he found out this cool little blend of like these off-brand paints that he's got, right? And we got him a really, really bright blue, like almost so bright at my last RTT the other weekend, right? I got a ton of comments about how it was hurting people's eyes. It was that blue. And I was like, yes, perfect. There we go.
Do not even look at my army. You're not worthy.
But very, very bright blue, very, very bright white. It's going to be great. and I cannot wait to spend time with a bunch of friends at the camp. I can't wait to see Matt again from Almost Functional, and Clay. I'm hyped to see him too, and then hopefully I get a pairing against Clay. I'm coming for him.
Shout out! He's getting.
I was just gonna say, don't worry, it's a Lewis event. We're gonna go in Almost Functional around like 1 or 2. It's fine. It's bad.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm not even gonna look at whatever he's bringing. I'm just gonna be like, Rigo, put me in, coach. Let me get that.
Let's do it. He said, "Yeah, you got
team shout outs. Like we're playing one team, Almost Functional's playing another, but like you both just get pulled away to go play each other specifically. It's fine. Lewis will make it work.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love my indicators.
And shout out to Clay and Matt too, because they've been trying to pull us in to do like an almost onslaught for Tennessee, the 8-man. If we want to do an 8-man in Tennessee.
Clay was telling me about that on the way up there, and I'm like, if I had the time off, I would, in a heartbeat, I would. Oh my god,
I could do it. I'll be there.
All right, I'm your Huckleberry. So that's 2. So that's 2.
Oh, so sad. Why did I have to get sick? Why am I mortal?
Listen, man, you gotta call in dead from now on. That way, it doesn't take away your sick days.
You say that, but I have been written up for taking the approved bereavement I had to take once before, so that might not even work. they tried, but no, it was awesome. I'm super excited for the camp as well. I'm actually going to be getting with the team I have put together here over the course of the next week or two with going over missions and layouts. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for the event. I'm excited for the volleyball, for the lake. I will be canoeing on the lake. Alligator be damned, because 1, I'm not a coward, and 2, I love reptiles. And 3, I just don't have a healthy sense of fear. So we are getting up on that. Mr. Mayo, what up?
Clay, we're running up the dodgeball too. Dodgeball call out.
Who that be? That be Mr. Hellman.
Oh, I'm not even gonna go with my opponents. I had the World Eaters player. Actually, there was a thing that came up that was a bit weird. It was forgotten, but like it wasn't too far gone to make it right. And it wasn't gonna have like a super impact, but it would have changed the game state a little bit. So he was like, "Hey, let's just 4-up it." Or like flip a tail, like heads will go your way, tails will go my way. And I'm like, sure. And it landed heads, and it was whatever. But I'm like, nah, none of that at this event. We have a disagreement. Dodgeball court, me and you. Pause the game. Dodgeball, first one out, loses, doesn't get it. Let's go. You go. So going to my team, you're solving disputes with dodgeball.
See, y'all don't know it, but I'm a goalkeeper at soccer. Look, I'm confident that I can take any one of y'all's in dodgeball. Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah. You know anything my way, bang! Get out of here.
So, for those of you here last time, I told you that this man is like my spiritual brother. I was a striker in soccer. The exact opposite of a goalkeeper.
Wouldn't score on me, though.
Won't score on me, though. You know, historically speaking, you are correct. I am 3-0 into this man, so I am not going to talk now.
Listen, you're going to have to play on the Friday the 13th little walking bridge that they have right on top of the lake with the one gator there.
Yeah.
And then whoever... You walk the plank.
Oh no, dude, we gotta get it going. We gotta get some like Western music, and the paid actor tumbleweeds gotta like let's go across. We just sit there. I'm sitting there, just waiting. He's sitting there with the ball, getting ready.
I'm gonna need you guys, if the gator is just sunbathing on the banks, to keep me away from line of sight of the lake, because I'll go pet it and my family will have a heart attack.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
If you can dodge a gator, you can dodge a ball. Forget the wrench.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, if anyone going to the camp, please be safe, because it is a gator and it will bite you if you get too close or agitate it. Like joking aside, do not mess with the wildlife. They'll win probably.
No, yeah, stay the hell away.
The nails are biting. Then you
me and Lou are like, no, PSA, be safe. Jake's like, bitches. You won't.
The nails are biting. And then you just see me on Tuesday, right? Because I believe we
You
have a
just
show.
jump in there.
Yes, exactly. On the Tuesday show, Rigo has a video of me just, a gator in a headlock. The nails are fighting. The nails.
Gator tries to death roll Lewis. Lewis is death rolling the Gator back. This is the part of the show that goes off the rails, folks. So if you're new here, stay an hour and 45 minutes in. We get to hear.
This is Florida, baby. We got gators everywhere.
But seeing as how it is the Onslaught show,
yep.
Would you like to give some details about your team event? We've said and talked, but for anyone that maybe might not know and might be curious with, say, maybe they get a taste of ATC and want more. Well, is there something else they could go to quench their thirst?
Well, we actually have another show that we're going to do live again on the 10th and talk a little bit about Onslaught Training Camp. But yes, to answer your question, Regal, thank you very much. So just a little segue, right? So people understand exactly what's going on. We have Onslaught Training Camp that's coming out in a couple of weeks. What week? The week of March 14th and 15th. Now, regardless of what you have heard, the 13th is not an actual, you have to mandatorily or obligatory and show up, right? So you don't have to be there. It's just a social day for us to just hang out, enjoy all the activities and amenities at the event. There's also going to be an introduction when everyone walks in. So you'll have a nice introduction and invitation to walk into the event and show you around to your rooms, things like that. There will be freezers for anybody who needs to refrigerate anything. So you can bring just about anything that you need. If you want to bring your PlayStation, your TVs, if you want to bring, and please bring linen for full size, blankets and pillows. It is very much so a camp in a hotel. So you get that camp vibe, but the outside is very, very nice. So.
I'm so sorry. I know you said linen, but my brain processed Lenin, and I'm like, just putting a fucking hit out on a dude to bring him to the camp.
Yeah,
but yeah, they are full size, so it's full size mattresses.
Yes, please bring your linen. Linen, not Lenin.
Are there pillows, or does that include when you bring your own pillows too?
No, you should. Yes, bring your own pillows, bring your own blankets and stuff like that. They do have receptacles, of course. This is not like some Amish location, with all due respect, but it is very progressive. There is a lot of things there you could use. A lot of receptacles. They have a bathroom, a beautiful bathroom, very large bathroom, and they have additional bathrooms as well. There's kind of like if you ever go to a gym and you have additional bathrooms and stuff like that. So locker rooms. Also, there's volleyball, there's gaga ball that we were talking about with Jake, the volleyball, the dodgeball, potentially basketball and swimming pool as well, as long as it's cool and we have the opportunity. There's going to also be a very large shout out to Objective Secured sponsored barbecue event on Saturday. So that's going to get an opportunity for everyone to sit down, have barbecue, and converse with one another and just learn who everyone is, right? So come out there. We're going to start the barbecues around 7:30. Come and hang out and enjoy some food. All the food is going to be taken care of for you. There's going to be vegetarian and vegan meals as well. So we'll take care of all that. But yeah, it's super exciting. Go check out. I'm actually going to put the link right now where you can go to the website and go check out the information on my website and see how much it costs there. It is $1,500. The early bird has sold out already at this point. So it's $1,500 for a 5-person team. But this also includes lodging, food for all 6 of your meals throughout the entire weekend, all the amenities, activities, and not least, but also to mention, you get to play 40K teams as well for the weekend, right? So a pretty sweet deal.
And if you have, a significant other, or maybe so, like you want to bring a fill, like we were talking about for ATC, an extra person to kind of sub in if something happens, someone has to leave from personal emergency or whatever. I believe that is $100 extra per head.
Yes, it is. If you want to bring every individual person there, get fed, they can stay there with you. So that just takes care of all their food throughout the weekend.
So
And we'll have salad bars for every lunch and dinner as well. So tons of food.
Yep. And as was mentioned, it's not encouraged, but it is a point to make. If you bring alcohol, keep it out of sight. The Rangers will, have take issue with it.
Yes. Yep. Bring whatever you want. Just exactly right. Mum's the word. So.
I would also just say, if you're going to the event, please read the player packet. It has the schedule in it. It has, a lot of the useful information, and there are, roughly 50 to 60 of us and one of him. So, just do your due diligence. Make sure you're not caught unawares by something. And most notably, I thought round one started at 8:30, it starts at 9:30, or even worse, vice versa. You sleep in and you're DQ'd from the round because your entire team woke up an hour late. Just avoid all of that. That's not good. No one likes that. Lewis doesn't like that. You, of course, aren't going to like it. So just, prepare yourself and your team as best you all can.
And on that topic, right, make sure the windows that we have allocated to eat. So all of you who are on the captain's channel on Discord, for those of you who are those times on there, those are hard times, meaning they cannot be adjusted because they're already locked in with the venue itself, and they will only have an attendee for an hour for each one of those. So grab your food, have someone grab your food for you, whatever it might be. But yeah, I want everyone to participate. Hopefully everyone can come and have a great time. But this weekend is ATC weekend, is JD's weekend, so I can't wait for ATC. Very honored to be a part of that and continue to be a part of that throughout the years. So everyone check out ATC, and hopefully you can see us in about 2 or 3 weeks at the camp as well.
Yep, and if you've never been to a team event, ATC are great introduction events. JT runs a very, very JD, very professional show. He also makes sure things get done on time. Like he said, when I asked him, he said the most important thing is time. Yes. He does not play with times. He is very nice. He's willing to work with people, but he's not willing to inconvenience, the 60-ish other guests there, 90 other guests, because 2 people are playing a slow game.
Yep.
So yeah, just but it is it is wonderful. He, again, as accommodating as he can be without starting to give advantages to any one person or team. And Lewis will be there too, so you can buy him drinks and watch him get progressively more inebriated as the event goes on.
I'm just the cherry on top. I'm just the accessory to the event.
Yeah, you get shots for bribes. We know. They go out buy you a shot. Oh yeah. Look at you.
You're the Olive Garden breadsticks everyone fills up on before their actual meal comes in. They might be looking forward to the meal, but did they actually eat it? No, they're here for the breadsticks.
Shout out to Anime Squirrel, as always, a very valued, super supporter of our channel. Love you, man. I might just do that for one of these shows. Yeah, General Florida, man.
And for the Anime Squirrel will be at the camp as well. So you get to meet him finally, put a face to the name. Much as hard.
And Jake as well. So if you're coming out to camp, you're gonna meet all 3 of us out there. Come by, stop by the table, say hello to all of us. So we're gonna head out of here. It's been almost 2 hours. We love you very much. I want to go eat. I am hungry. But if Jake has something to say in Regal before we head out and I do my outro, please do so.
Definitely swing by the camp. I'm super excited to meet everybody. Dodgeball ones are always accepted. I'm always down to run it. No exceptions. They will always be there. I'm all for it. I'm all for everything. Hopefully, as much as I know that Lewis and Regal is, I hope that I'm just as approachable as these 2. I promise I'm not mean. If I am grouchy, I just haven't had my caffeine yet. Okay, trust me. I keep it on deck. I'll have it shortly.
I've heard rumors. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'm gonna get there basically whenever we're allowed to go through the gates Friday. I'll be there. So if any of you are looking for an exhibition game or just to chat it up, again, dodgeball, volleyball, this weird quad ball, kick, wall ball game. I'm so like I'm in for all of it. Throw me a challenge, I'll take it. It's fine. I don't care if I lose. I'm there for the I'm there for the vibes, the memories.
So many things to do there.
Oh, hey, when is the Onslaught camp picture of all 100 of us in front of the building or whatever?
That barbecue.
Saturday night, people don't go to bed early. Do the picture.
Yes,
Hey,
please.
spooky stories around the campfire, Lewis. I'm still looking forward to it. You got to tell the first one.
Yes, I will. I'll have it ready for you, brother, and everyone else.
I got dibs on the first one.
You got dibs? Okay, you can set it up. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna go over my roles at Cherokee. I told Lewis about it earlier on the phone. But other than that, I'm good. Thank you all for joining us. Yes, Mr. Mayo, punchies. I'm well familiar. I have many older cousins. We can play punchies. But
also, thank you, gentlemen, so much for everything. And please, I want to ask you all, do me a favor. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It would mean the world to all three of us. We put in a lot of hard work doing this for the community and just making sure that we're sharing that with you every other week and being a part of your world, right? So I appreciate you very much. Hopefully, I've seen the numbers and I'm hoping that a lot more of you start to subscribe. Thank you very much for this content, for watching this content rather, and hopefully we can continue to make more great content for you. With that being said, Onslaught Gaming 40K, victory is just a strategy away. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.